Well, good morning, Facebook land, friends and loved ones. Welcome to this morning's The Coffee Run. Episode number 304. And what I'm wanting to chat with you about today is something that has been on my mind actually for some time. Now, you'll know that I'm really passionate and really excited about getting you out there. I'm really passionate. Hey, Margaret, really passionate, excited, and a massive advocate for you really being you. But here's the thing that happens, right? So when you hold back your passion, your insights, your personality, hey, Catherine, your unique of being, the thing that happens, and I actually saw there was a photo that I saw on Facebook earlier, I don't know, it might have been maybe late last week, and it was this image of a woman, and it was like the wind was taking away like pieces of her and like forming a bird, and I don't like birds, so let's just not worry about that. But there's this woman, and like it was all like a black and white photo, and it was like these pieces of her were floating off into the breeze. That's kind of what it feels like to me when we're not really embracing our whole and true self, when we're not showing up online in a way that is really, us, right? And I get that you know exactly what it is that I mean. So, for instance, in 2018, it was kind of like, for me, it was like the year of rebuilding me. So I'd had all of these, almost like these soul fragments going off into the wind and into the breeze. And it took me a while to bring them all back in to a point where I felt like I was back, like I was whole again. There was a whole bunch of reasons why that had happened. But really, it was like, okay, like rebuild. Just remember who you are. Remember who the fuck you are. And I played it really safe in 2018 from a marketing perspective, right? From a positioning perspective, and actually completely from a business perspective as well, because I was like, well, if I go and put my whole heart and soul out there like I used to do, like I normally would do, then is that going to leave me vulnerable, exposed, and raw? And if someone comes along or some other people come along and decide to stomp all over me. And it was a really hard year, actually, coming off the back of a couple of really tough years for a myriad of different reasons. And I guess like what I've really learned, hey Ash, Thursday. What I've really learned along this whole journey and along this rebuilding process is that the more that you are willing to show up as you, the more that you are willing to be open, be raw, be vulnerable, say, hey, you know what, you guys, this is a really common thing. This is what a lot of people think about. Then it actually puts you in really good stead for connecting with your people. All right. So I guess like how we relate this into marketing, because, that's what I'm all about. I'm all about you, marketing you in the best possible way possible, in the most amazing way possible. And that is all about you. But when you don't do this, it's like you're invisible. And you might even, do you even exist if you don't have a presence on Facebook? Like, I know that you exist, right? I'm being facetious. It's like, if a tree falls over in the woods and there's no one to witness it, does it even make a sound? It's like, does the internet even exist if you're not on it? So, I guess if people don't know where you are, like imagine it here, right? It's like we're going to move up in levels. So the first level is invisible. Yeah. And this is where, like, when we're business owners and we know that we need to be online, we know we need to build presence, we know we need to put content out there. But I guess like there's all these things that rattle around in our heads. It's like, oh my gosh, what if they don't like me? What if I put myself out there and, my peers disagree? And I know for a lot of you, very, very well-educated professionals in your industries, hey, Joe, that is a real legitimate fear, right? Like you guys get really scared about, well, what will my peers say and think? Will they agree with me? Will they disagree with me? What if they report me to the board? All of this, that, and the other, or the ethics department in your industry. Like it's pretty serious, right? The ramifications can be pretty serious. So a lot of people will go, meh, I'm just going to play it really safe. I'm just going to talk about, I'm not going to put anything clinical out there. I'm not going to put anything that someone could dispute. Just kind of be a little bit vague or talk around issues and stuff like that. And I suppose the thing is that you end up remaining invisible, right? The next thing that can happen is that we can step up a level, and that next level is where you might put some things out there. But again, if you're not really feeling like you're being you, embracing your awesomeness, your content, and knowing exactly who your audience is as well, actually, it can leave you feeling really disconnected and your audience feeling really disconnected from you. Because if they don't kind of feel that rapport, that connection with you, then the opposite of that is disconnection, right? If you're not connected, you're disconnected. It's, ones and zeros, it's pretty obvious. So if you're pedaling through and you're kind of doing the things that all of the other and you're putting out stuff that's reasonably generic, let's say, that's not so much about you sharing your personality, your love of perhaps fashion, or your love of cooking, or your love of walking and working out and really leading a wholeheartedly fulfilled and balanced life, then people they often get bored, right? Because you will sound like you're talking about the same things all the fucking time, right? So if you're literally talking about, bottled water and the importance of not using plastic and maybe the importance of using glass, and that's all you're talking about because maybe you're a glass bottle seller, then people eventually, the people who are following you, who are really desperately actually really wanting to engage with you, they kind of they check out, they get bored, right? And then then we kind of go up to that next level, and that's where you can feel really ignored, right? Where you're putting all this stuff up out there, doing the things, you're talking about your product, you're talking about the features and the benefits, and you're kind of stuck in marketing the product. What happens is that your competition, your competitors, if they're doing a really good job of engaging in other ways, right, then all of a sudden you are now trying to win the market over by saying that your product is the best, right? That's where this, shopping around kind of kicks in, right? It's okay, well, how many liters does your bottle hold? I don't know why I'm talking an American accent. That's really weird. How many liters of water does your bottle hold? How many liters of water does this? Mine holds 1.25 liters. Yours only holds a liter. Mine is by far the best, right? As opposed to talking about how you've sourced the glass, why it's so important, what's your company ethos? Are you all about environmental sustainability? Are you all about, saving the forests? Are you a massive advocate for being really conscious and aware of what it is that you're putting into your body? And then what is it about your body that you're, a human body that you're really passionate about? And how can you start talking into that? Why is movement important to you? And then how do you blend that into your family? And then how can we create fun as part of all of that? And when you're sharing all of these different things, right, it might sound like it's 5 degrees, 6 degrees, 7 degrees of separation, which it is, but it all still weaves in and ties in to the thing that you're selling. But people are going to get caught up in your mission, right? This is where they start to get engaged. They're like, oh my gosh, this person isn't just trying to push this glass bottle down my throat. That's really fucking amazing. And then when you release a new product or a new service, or maybe you decide that you're going to go and you're going to take a group over to Africa and build wells because how important water is. Or you might go over on a shopping trip to China. I don't know, you guys, but you get the point, right? Instead of competing on product and the inclusions and on ones and zeros, the thing that no one can compete with is your personality, your resolve, your values. And when you're doing that, then that creates a connection with your audience, right? And then what happens is that you then become the only choice. You are absolutely visible by this point, but you become the choice. You become the leader of almost like this movement where people are just like, oh, you're amazing, not in like a cult way or a guru way, but they just love being around you because of your passion, because of your vitality, right? And how you are and why you are the way. They love hearing your stories, right? So, all of these fears around, things not working or, what will my peers say and, all of this stuff. And what about your ego? What if I go and do this and I get haters, or if I go and do this and this happens, or if I go and do this and it doesn't work? The thing is, with all of this stuff, is that we're actually, we've really got to look at building a brand around you. And I really hate that word because it can often be, misconstrued. But you are your brand, right? You, not your logo, not your bottle of water. Like, that's just something at the moment that you're using as a vehicle for you to be able to fulfill your purpose, for you to be able to fulfill your mission, for you to be able to really get out there, share the things that are really important to you, and really by being you and who you are. It's really fascinating to me. So, yesterday I struggled a bit yesterday. I had, I got home on Tuesday morning, went straight to the tattoo place, which is just I think the best form of self-care I could have done actually on Tuesday. But then yesterday I had a really jam-packed full day, and I felt like I didn't feel as on as what I was feeling while I was away. And it was really interesting. So this morning I noticed I had my gym gear on. I have been, I did the school run, and then I went and got my nails done. I came home. I'm like, okay, got to do this live. And I was just like, Nicola, because I was feeling a bit disconnected, right? Not to you guys, but just feeling like I've done my journaling. I knew exactly what I was going to talk about. And I'm like, all right, what was it that really made me feel on through the week last week, and even, just to back and the amazingness that was created in the room. There is one thing, like an amazing thing that happens, magic happens when you're in the room. It's like, how can you recreate that feeling, Nicola? It's like, well, I had a shower and often if I'm at home and I don't have to go back out and I've got you guys on at 11, I'm a little bit like, okay, well, I can just kind of do it in my casual gear. I can just do it in my gym gear, my workout gear, and it's fine. And this morning I was like, nah, girlfriend. One of the things that I've really loved about being away, and this is just a little insight for you, has been about, getting dressed, feeling gorgeous, feeling a bit glam, and showing on up. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to go and put, lightning bolts on my face and stuff like that for live streams. We'll keep the lightning bolts and all of the extra glitter for the live events, because we need a new level, right? But I was like, okay, so rather than kind of selling myself short, rather than selling you short, it's like, all right, well, how about we show up the same way that I would as if I was in the room minus the lightning bolts. And so I put something very pretty on and got myself organized, and it was just like, bang, you know what, I'm in. So for me, part of the things that I really love about me is how I know how to get leverage over myself, right? How I know how to activate and turn these things on for me so that I can show up in the best way for you. So what is it for you? Now, I'm not saying that you have to get glammed up and whatever for your live streams or for you to be able to be on for work, but how can you best leverage your state so that you can show up in your personality, so that you can show up in the way that is the most aligned way for you humanly possible. Now, I do know that every day it can be a little bit different, right? Some days I'm just like, bang, I've got this. Other days it's a little bit like, I need a little bit of extra help. And so that's what we do. So that is all of that, my friends. Now, one thing that I can let you know, I'm just going to pop the link in here because why would I not do that? We've got Social Rebels that is coming up where I really teach you about how to step into the spotlight, how to go from being invisible, feeling like nobody is listening, feeling overwhelmed with all of the things that you need to do online, to feeling really confident and so that you can actually stand up and really own your space out there in the land of the internet, right? In the land of Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever it is that you really want to be out there, be seen and be visible by your audience. Now, naturally, the intention behind this is how you get leverage over yourself, how you can consistently, from a place of alignment, show up, do the things that you need to do and be you in the most amazing way humanly possible. So that is starting. There is a group that starts in November, actually tomorrow. We've got the first call going live tomorrow. And then we've actually got another program starting in February as well, just to get you past the Christmas rush. So it is the most ridiculous, because the February one is so far away, feels so far away, even though you're going to be getting pre-work, there are some pretty intensely amazing payment options for these, just so that, I've tried to make it as accessible for as many people as possible while still honoring the fact that we're going to be working together for, at least 10 weeks between now and the end of the November round. But then if you start in February, then essentially we're going to start working together now. You get access into the Business Badass 3 Mastermind. So you've still got support and things that you can be doing between now and the start of the program. So February, March. So what's that? That's November, December, January, February. But you've got nearly 4.5 months of support through this Social Rebels program if you roll into the February round. And if you come into the November one, we start straight away. So I think it's an absolute no-brainer. I know it's a no-brainer. So get in on that. The link is in the comments. The link for those of you who are listening to the audio, it's nicolamoras.com.au/social rebels spaces. So that is that, my friends. One thing that I can tell you is that the more you are being you, right? The more you are really embracing all who you are, every element of you. And when you start sharing that with the world, you will know when, you'll start getting this positive feedback. Okay. People will start saying, wow, I just love the way that you're so real. You're so authentic. I just want to listen to you all day. This is what they will tell you. And you'll be like, how cool, thank you. I don't necessarily think that I could listen to me all day, but, thank you so much. And it's this really interesting, kind of almost like this whirlwind of momentum that starts to build up around you. You start to really gain all of those fragments that kind of flitted off into or wherever soul fragments go. You start to be able to bring those back into your world and into your soul. And that's really where confidence then starts to increase. And then you bring more back, and then more confidence comes in, and then more comes back, and then more comes in. Your confidence increases. People start to become magnetized to you. People will say to you, oh my God, I love being in your presence. I love listening to you, whether it's on camera or whether it's in person. I absolutely, hands down, promise you, I guarantee that this is what happens when you really, really step in to who you are and you freaking own it and you market yourself from that place. It's like not that I subscribe to the magic pill, and I certainly don't sell the magic pill, but if there was to be a magic pill, that would be it. It's like that thing that you look at in the mirror every day. You are your own magic pill. So I just want to help you unleash that into the world, because I know that you want to change the freaking world, whether it's the world at large or your world. And I know that you want to help and influence the people who are also in your world, whether it's your clients, your patients, your children, your family. It's so important that you're out there doing the work that you do. So come on down and let's hang out. I would really love to be able to help you. Meanwhile, get out there, embrace who you are, go help some people. And remember, the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness. Have an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow.